filmed for you at the American Star Academy Studios in New York City.
Hey, Paul Adams here, long-time artist manager and record producer manager based here in New York, back to talk to you about what exactly it is a manager does. Back in the day, my friends were all in a band, but they were really bad. I was the guy that was hanging out with them, so I was the manager. Didn't really know what a manager did, to be honest. And what I'd like to try and talk to you about today is exactly that. Because everybody's heard the word manager. With some of the big artists, you might actually know who their managers are. Justin Timberlake, for example, everyone knows that Johnny Wright manages Justin. He goes out sometimes, he introduces Justin on stage. So you know who he is, but what exactly is it that that person does? Why is he so instrumental in his artist's career? Why does the artist rely so much on their manager? And, you know, basically what does that person do on a day-to-day level? And what I'd like to do today is just try and help you understand what that is. And, you know, perhaps give you a couple of examples that maybe you didn't know or didn't think of. And, you know, by the end of this, you can decide whether you want to be a manager yourself. I know most of you are focused on wanting to be an artist, and what I would like to say before I even get into the roles of a manager is don't let anybody tell you you can't do this. Because every single artist in the world, every single one has been told, forget your dreams, because that's exactly what they are, just dreams. Concentrate on the realities of life. And you know what? Had Madonna listened to that advice, maybe she'd be working in some fast food joint in Detroit right now. You know, had Justin Timberlake listened to that, then maybe his life would be entirely different as well. So before we get going, believe in yourself and just follow what you think you can do, because that's all important in life. Sooner or later, you're going to want to get yourself a manager. And that's important for a couple of reasons. You need somebody on your team, somebody that you trust beyond all others, somebody that's going to give you the right advice when it comes to, well, certainly the contracts that you're going to sign as an artist, but also the creative direction that you go in. As you proceed as an artist and as you get more and more successful, what you're going to find is that more people just tell you what they think you want to hear. Those people, we call them yes men. And whilst it might be nice for your ego, it's really not good for you in the long run. What you need is somebody who can stand next to you, who you trust to give you the real deal at all times. If you have a bad performance, you need to know that person ain't going to tell you that you had a good performance just because he's worried about hurting your feelings. You need somebody who's going to be able to say to you, you know what, you weren't very good tonight, and here's why you weren't very good tonight. Somebody who's really going to help you understand that side of things. When it comes to what songs that you're going to record, you want somebody that's going to be able to sit down next to you and talk to you why this song's better than that song. But most of all, a manager is your protector. He's also your enabler, because he enables things in your career to happen. The manager is the person who speaks to everybody and controls every facet of your career, from the financial to the creative. So I think the best place to start is to really look at it from the perspective of a new artist coming up. And I'd actually like to give an example of that. As part of my job, I go and see a lot of new artists in pretty much every genre. But for example, I saw a new artist the other night who I thought were absolutely superb. And there's already a little bit of a buzz about this artist. So there was a lot of people from the music industry that were at the show. And after the show, they probably felt like they'd just played Madison Square Garden, because everybody was coming up to them telling them how wonderful they were. Now, you have to understand that there are so many different parts of the music industry where you can draw an income from. And in each of those different parts, you have to come to some sort of an agreement. You'll be making money from your recording. You'll be making money, if you're a writer, from the actual publishing income from the song itself. You'll be making money from performances. You know, if you have a successful song, then that song will be in movies or television shows or commercials, and you'll be making money from that. And all those different areas, there are people that are going to come at you, offering you different contracts, offering you different deals. The manager is the person who will sit there and take those contracts in and really talk to you about what's good and what isn't. And as an artist, you really do need somebody like that. Because whilst I think it's always good for the artist to have a business awareness, and I think if you look at the most successful artists in the world, they're all people who know what's going on with their business. And I would strongly encourage that you have an interest in that. But you really do need somebody who's going to be able to advise you as to what's right, what's not right, and what's good and what's not good. And a manager will do exactly that for you. He's somebody who will shield you from all these people coming at you with all their offers and all their contracts, and really figure out what's right for you as an artist. So let's take record companies, for example. If you're a hot artist, chances are there are going to be a number of record companies that want you to sign for them. Now, it's a big misconception, I think, that getting a record deal is difficult. It's actually not difficult, providing you have the talent. If you have the talent, there's going to be a number of record companies that want to sign you, and they're all going to have slightly different deals. So I think one of the manager's main responsibilities in that instance is to really figure out what's best for you as an artist in that record deal. He needs to figure out how long the deal will last, what your commitment of recording is, and he obviously needs to figure out exactly how much money you're going to get up front. He needs to figure out what your percentage is going to be on CD and download sales. All those things the manager needs to figure out. And it's great having somebody other than yourselves to do that, because I think that the manager's unemotional about it. Now, I'm a huge music fan, and I'm lucky enough that I work with musicians and artists who I personally enjoy. But honestly, that's not a prerequisite of the job. I have to be detached, because I can only make the correct decisions if I am detached. If you're the artist and you've just come off stage in front of, even at the beginning, only a handful of people, but those handful of people have made you feel like you're the biggest artist in the world, and there's some guy that comes up to you backstage and offers you what you could potentially think was your dream, it's going to be very hard for you to say no to that. And there are horror stories over the years of exactly that. You need somebody fighting in your corner. You need somebody who's going to be able to take all those offers and say, talk to me. And then he's going to go away and in a detached way and in an unemotional way, make the right decisions on your behalf. So I've never really wanted to be a performer. Occasionally I try and write a song, but for some reason they always come out sounding like Hey Jude by the Beatles. I don't know why that is, but they do. And the limit of my ambitions to perform is maybe playing an acoustic guitar in front of a girl that I like. But beyond that, the thought of getting on stage terrifies me. It's just not what I want to do. It's what you want to do, and that's great. And you know what? Go out and kill them. I'll be standing at the side watching you, smiling every now and then when you turn around looking for a bit of support. And that's what I like. But one of the other things that I like is getting involved in the creative side of things. Some managers like to do that, other managers don't. Some managers are good at it, and other managers less so. And the basic role of a manager is more of the business side of things. I don't think you necessarily need to be great creatively. I think if you are, it's a bonus. And it's something that I just really particularly enjoy. So one of the things that I like to do with my artists is sit down with them when it comes to planning a new recording, talking to them about the direction, talking to them about the producers. I've always been very proactive when it comes to making the records. And actually I think that one of the things that I do, and I think that one of the reasons people would come to me and seek my services as a manager, is because I really do understand that process. And because I've been doing it for as long as I have, artists know that I have the experience, know that I have the form, and are comfortable. And that's really important, because this is your music we're talking about. You need to be comfortable talking to somebody about it. You need to be happy that, they've got your back and they share your vision. And maybe they have some ideas that you didn't have that they can bring to the table and, push through, that are just going to make your music better. You know, maybe there's a certain producer that you should be working with that you haven't thought of. And if you have a manager who's aware of that kind of things, that could be really, really helpful to you. And you're going to get so many different opinions. You know, everybody has an opinion and everybody's going to be telling you it should be this way, it should be that way, it should be the other way. But if you've got that special relationship with your manager, then you're going to feel comfortable sitting down, you know what, on a sofa like this, listening to some music and talking about the creative direction of where it should go next. So anyway, hopefully I've given you a little bit of an insight as to what a manager can do, what a manager should do, and in future segments I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about each individual role, going into some more detail, and I'll see you soon.